I'm the geek girl that'll keep looking like, what about window?
There
Move
we go.
focus to the next. Oh, did you get
I
it?
got it. Yes.
What did you end up doing? Tell me.
Yes. I expanded our screen from that, but I'm going
Okay.
to change the coloring. Me, I'm looking really pinky, and I don't know why.
Oh, I can tell you that. You just go to where it says start video,
Mm-hmm.
and there's like a pop-up little icon there, and it says video settings.
Wait a minute. Start video?
Yeah,
Or
where it
stop
says,
video?
yeah, just there's a little arrow right to the right of it.
Okay.
If you
And
click
do
it,
what?
there's a pop-up video settings.
Uh-huh.
And then what you can do is it says camera because you're in the video section. Look down. It says like touch up my appearance, adjust for low light. You can manually change that to brighten out the red a little bit if you want to like move it to the right. Like I'm just lightening mine a bit, but not too much. They even have a thing where you can put on lipstick and eyebrows and a mustache.
Where's that?
Just so you know. So yeah. So at the bottom next to your microphone where it says mute, there's stop video. To the very right hand side of it, there's a little arrow caret thing. If you pop that open, then it says select a camera, FaceTime, blur my background, choose virtual background, choose video filter, and then it says video settings. Do you see that?
In Studio Effects?
It's within Zoom, and it should be at the bottom. Like, you know where your participants and your chat and your record button and all that is?
Mm-hmm.
To the very left-hand side, there's your mute or your microphone, and right to the right-hand side of that is your stop video or video, little picture of a video recorder. And there's a little button to the right of that, and it pops up in the very last line. It says video settings. I wonder if I could share my laptop to show you.
I know I see it in here.
Do you see it? Oh yeah, you're moving yourself around, yeah. There you go.
And look, I even put on lipstick.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Hot girl
You know what? I'm
summer.
just gonna be like, who cares beyond this point? Let's just.
Yeah, because you know what? The other thing is you can edit it on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
You can edit it on the other side.
I don't want to do too much work here.
No. Make it simple.
Yeah.
You've got your stuff there. That's perfect.
Mm-hmm. I'm wondering if I should open up some light to that outside there.
You could physically add your light.
Okay. And my kids aren't home, so they can't find my lights. So, like, well, all right.
Then I'll vape before we start. I promise not to vape while we're recording.
I don't mind. Genuinely. Well, we've got all these, like, ambient lights and stuff in here, too. So.
Fabulous.
I just need to bring all the rest of this stuff from.
You just want a little brightness.
Yeah. Actually,
there you go.
Such an asshole yesterday. I couldn't grab any of it.
Be comfy. Yeah, get that pillow where you want it. I like it because all your tattoos show.
Yeah?
Yeah, because your upper arm tattoos are showing and stuff. And
Yeah.
it's just you. Yeah.
How hot is it there for you?
It's comfortable over here because it's England, so it's probably about 50 degrees right now, man. 56 degrees. Yeah.
Okay. Well, then, yeah, you can shut up.
In Celsius, it's probably like, I don't know, 20 something.
All right. Make sure that There. So no matter what happens, we're recording.
Yeah.
And why am I feeling nervous? Don't know. Maybe it's because of all the drugs I'm on.
That could be too.
Yeah.
Where's your Xanax?
I've been taking that a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's really helped with my lungs and
Yes.
breathing. So
Yes, ma'am. They need to really pay attention to who needs that and make sure they get it. You
yeah.
can't even find it here, dude. No.
All right, let's jump in. You ready?
Yep. Let's go.
Hey, besties. Good to see you. Welcome all. Thanks for joining us. Today we have a topic that is a hard one to talk about, but everybody needs to talk about it at some point in their lives, whether it's for you or if it's for a loved one. You need to know about this topic, and it's hard
Yeah.
to just go ahead and Google this topic anywhere and find out any outstanding kind of results or information that leaves you feeling like, hey, I have a lot of my questions answered. So, Therese, tell us what we're going to talk about today.
Well, I'm Therese and I go by T. You can just call me T. It's easier. And we're going to talk about what I am is an end of life doula, which sounds maybe to some a bit strange. Doula, end of life, what is this? What is it all about? We're going to talk about what it is and what it's not.
Yes.
And introduce you to the idea if you've never heard of it before, because I never heard of it before I started taking my courses.
Mm-hmm.
So odds are a lot of you aren't going to know about it. So I'm going to allow Carrie to ask the questions and I'm going to answer. So you just lead me on, girlfriend, and tell me where you want me to start.
You betcha, buddy. So Therese is a dear friend of mine that we became friends as she joined my Terminal Doesn't Mean Goodbye channel on YouTube. And we just connected so well. She has been just such a ray of light during my whole cancer experience. And getting to know her, discovering that she is a death doula, that was something that I was always like, wow, if I could have lived longer or continue live, that would be something that I genuinely would love to do. And so here Therese does this. And so you've heard of hospice care nurses who are lovely in their own right and hospice teams, but Therese is a end of life doula, just like how there are birthing doulas who prepare the mom for labor and bringing a baby into the world with minimal medicines, very natural understanding about her body, the baby's body, the whole ethereal, wonderful things that happen while you're engaging into childbirth. The same thing goes for a end of life doula. Is they're here for people like me who are at the very end of their life. And just so you know, on my history, I am a stage 4 cancer patient. I have high-grade neuroendocrine cancer where the primary location was supposed to be in my lung. I don't really believe that. You can watch why in other segments that I have up. But starting in the lung, which metastasized everywhere else, and including in bone. And I have a pleural effusion because I have cancer in the pleura of my lung too, which is the lining of the lung that keeps the lung from sticking to the casing that holds the lung. I have a lot of water in there, which is very uncomfortable to breathe, and all sorts of stuff. It's not fun. Feels very much like pneumonia, except for a lot more intense. It hurts to breathe and so forth. So that is one of my ailments that is cancer causing, but also I have metastasis to my bones and various other parts of my body. I am can no longer walk on my own anymore. I am reliant on a cane or a walker, or a wheelchair mostly. The cane I can do in very, like going from my bed to the bathroom,
Yeah.
but outside of that, I have to usually use the industrial size walkers or a wheelchair to get anywhere. So where I am, I'm just entering hospice, but I'm also looking for other care to add on to my hospice team, which I have a great hospice team. But
Yeah.
Therese, what she offers and being an end of life doula is something that I'm even more fascinated with because it hits the spirit, as some might say, better than other things. And a
Yeah.
lot of that is because she's connecting and taking a lot of the fear, dispelling fear around the idea of dying and having it be a very natural and beautiful thing, just like how when you find out you're pregnant and going through pregnancy to childbirth, that beautiful, beautiful transitionings. This is the same thing for me, except for it's going in reverse, going from life tapering into death, and what does that look like for me? And
Yeah.
from that, I'm going to ask Teresa some questions there too.
Yeah.
Um, for somebody like me who to enter hospice, I don't know about in the country that you are, what they have you do, but in the United States, hospice starts when your oncologist or doctor or whomever your guiding physician is ornates and decides that you only have at least 6 months or less to live.
Yes.
You cannot enter hospice before that.
Yeah.
You are have to be truly looking at the end of your life at that point. And for me, my oncologist and all of my care team, I've outlived my prognoses many times, but this one is very different. This
Yeah.
one, nobody would be surprised if I died between now and 6 months, if at the latest. And I can feel that in my bones that that is true. And just like the same way, the difference between before you get pregnant and you're excited about getting pregnant, is this the time? Is this the time? Is this the time?
Mhm.
And then once you are pregnant, oh, I am pregnant, and it feels
Ooh.
very different.
Yeah.
So the same thing for end of life, though. It's like, oh, is this it? Oh, is this it? Is this it? Versus, oh, this is what this feels like. So that's where
So,
I am right now. So I am officially in hospice, but I'm also wanting extra care
yeah.
from a death doula. And that's where
Yeah.
she comes in. So, what I
Oh,
want to ask you to start out, when clients like me are headed into hospice and they're looking for help, and they're also kind of just, a lot of people don't really know that there is such a thing as a death doula. How do your clients find you, and what kind of questions are they asking you?
right. So a lot of people find me by way of their doctors, or in England, they call them GPs. They have a team of people just like you do. So they have their doctors also, AKA GPs. So we're gonna do a. I'm an American who lives in England. I've been here for 14 years, so I
Mm-hmm.
am bilingual. But we have a team. So you've got your doctor, you've got your hospice, and you may also have a type of carer who
Mm-hmm.
may come into your home if you decide that you want to be at home.
Mm-hmm.
They may come in and make sure they're turning you, making sure you're comfortable. And the hospice nurse here in the UK administers medicine for comfort,
Mm-hmm.
and they work with you in other ways too. They
Mm-hmm.
do holistic, they
Mm-hmm.
do massage, they do Reiki, they do
Mm-hmm.
candling, they do scent, they do touch therapy. They're amazing.
Mm-hmm.
What the end of life doula do is we're a bridge with that group. And so if somebody's talking to hospice or they're talking to their specialist, we interact with them. So I talk to hospice people, I talk to doctors, I give them my information, and I say, if you know of anyone looking for specific things, and those specific things are, once again, I don't do any of the medical stuff. What I'm here to do is basically ride shotgun with you. I go with you, we go together, and my only job, my only role is to listen to you and help you push, because we love our families, we have friends, and they have their own ideas about what they want for us because they love us. And sometimes they want to push those ideas onto us.
Right.
So one of the things I do is I work with you to first of all understand, what do you want?
Right.
First of all, maybe you go to what don't you want.
Right.
Maybe you don't want a room full of people. Maybe you don't want people telling you what to do or how it's going to be, or you have to believe this or this or this. So we first of all just introduce ourselves, just like we're doing now.
Yeah.
And we just talk about, who are you?
Right.
What do you believe in? It doesn't matter what I believe in. It has nothing to do with me. I am there and I'm able to step aside and be there for you and to get a sense for you when you're uncomfortable, when you're maybe sad, maybe you're in a giddy mood and you want to just go do something crazy, and eat a whole bunch of chocolate and drink champagne. It could be anything. It could be helping you write out lists. A lot of things I do is I help with paperwork. So end of life paperwork that you may do for wills or end of life type things that you do. I'm educated in a lot of that too, so I can help you with that. I can help you if you're looking at, it depends how brazen you are. If you're looking at funerals,
cremation bottles.
cremation.
There's a lot of things that I
Exactly.
never even thought of until doing this. One of them was that I always expected I would just go through a hospice team. And what does that even mean? So a hospice team here, for what I'm doing, they offer a type of social, of psychological support to me and my family, and they offer it for up to, I think it's like 13 months after I pass. But a lot of the stuff you find in what you're doing too. But one of the things that you struck me, because you were there for me at the very beginning of going, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? So this was like, because I decided to start preparing for my death a long time before hospice ever came around, and I decided that, huh? Yeah, and I just, oh, you're freezing up there, frozen. Are you there?
There we go. Mine stuck a little bit there, but you're saying how you started planning and
what my life would look like. Are you there?
Recording in progress.
There you are.
There you are.
Okay. So so we were talking about what it is that you had an idea already early on. You're like the ace student who thinks ahead and starts to get things prepared themselves.
Yeah, because I don't want my families to make the decisions, or all the woulda, coulda, shouldas, that if something had happened and I had passed without those things in mind, would they
Mm-hmm.
feel like, oh, I should have done XYZ for mom, she could have been around longer if I did da 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 da. So I had to spell out my intentions very clearly, so that way all they would have to do is just love me and let me love them. And
Yeah.
that way they and them having care teams that process to love them as well and help them in their own grievance separately than me, because then
Yeah.
when they are grieving, they need respite too, so that way they can grieve and they can talk about these things and then come back to be able to support me in a better way, and same thing, so
Yeah.
I can be separate and be able to grieve and then come back to them as well, and we can have these communications together as a family.
So
And
important.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
so important. And we don't think about these things sometimes until it's too late.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
want to have all this stuff down before losing my voice. And week by week, my health has deteriorated so bad, so bad. And depending on the position I am, it doesn't look like I've lost a whole lot of weight, but oh my gosh, yeah, cancer causes you to lose a lot of weight. And
Real quick.
you're not hungry and you're not thirsty. And a lot of families get really upset when they want the doctors and nurses to give them IVs and things to give them
TPN, all
hydration.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
give them more teas and more
Yeah.
things to be hydrated with. Where the natural progression is the body stops wanting those things all on its own. Has
That's
nothing
a
to do,
sign.
yeah,
Yeah.
nothing to
That's a
do
sign.
with hydration and things like that. It actually,
Doesn't
for
want
us,
it.
no, it doesn't
No.
want it, and it hurts when you have it.
Yeah.
It
Doesn't
feels
need it.
like you
Doesn't
showed
want
up
it.
to a gigantic buffet that you were not ready for, and
Yeah.
required to eat twice off of absolutely everything the whole
Right.
time, and getting not just sick, but violently ill out of your
Oh.
mouth, your stomach,
Yeah.
everywhere that you never planned.
Absolutely.
And then not to mention the heartburn and everything else. And we're talking, I
Yeah.
gave a the image of a buffet, but the reality is we're talking tiny portions here. That because as a
Yeah.
cancer patient at this range, you're not hungrier for it than
No.
anything less than that. You can't eat the
Yeah.
same way that you used to, and you find that you
Hmm.
want to be very careful on what you do eat. Can you swallow it? Is it getting
Yeah.
hot? Is it
Exactly.
is it filling your stomach in a nice way or a mean way that
Yeah.
doesn't
Are you
process,
comfortable? Are you going to
right?
be able to sleep?
Is it a
Is it going
soft
to keep you up?
food so you can take it
Yeah.
down and, not spend too much energy chewing and chewing and chewing and chewing and chewing and it breaking down your
Yeah.
jaw and everything when it hurts so much to eat as it
Everything.
is. So, death doulas help us deal with this and what these
Yes.
end of life looks like, so that way we can confidently tell our families what it is that we really want and why, so our family members
Yeah.
don't have to deal with these topics.
Yeah. What we need. And that's a perfect segue because it's about that. It's about what we need. And we even have little forms that we fill out to hold on to that you give to your doula. You plan, you think about, you do take the time to think about your ending or how you want to leave this life. A lot of us have beliefs that we're going elsewhere because we were somewhere else before we got here.
True, true, true.
So we're going to go somewhere else. So that's just
But
where
those
I'm
are
coming
different,
from.
beliefs, just as in any faith has different beliefs.
Anything. You
And
can go with
we're not
anything.
here to say what's right or wrong or anything
No,
like
there is no
that.
right or wrong.
We're just here to say there
No.
are beautiful options for,
Yeah.
especially that dispels the fear of death, and ways to honor the person who is dying and support them and love them to the full without having fear of if they get close to them, then they'll be hurt even more when they pass. Or
Yes.
that my mom, father, XYZ plant in there is going to be too fragile to touch, to hug, to be
Yes.
around, to do any,
Yeah.
you put any scenario in there. And keep in mind
Exactly.
memory care goes with it too. That
It
we
can.
start seeing what a lot of people call hallucinations. But in my line of work, they're actually not hallucinations. That's a totally different topic.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
in overall, your mind, it's like your mind is preparing itself for after what happens when we die. It's its
You
way of
are.
making peace of what's going on. It's a
Just like
natural
when you're
progression.
pregnant, your body's working, it's doing Braxtonics.
Yes.
You know, it's for us women, that's when your body is doing those pretend contractions to strengthen you and get you ready. Um, One of the really important things about an end of life doula is getting from you what it is that will make you most comfortable as you do near the end.
Yes.
We don't have to focus on the last moment because, just like you said, terminal doesn't mean goodbye. It's about living your life to the fullest all the way
All the
to
way.
the end of that type of life.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that's most important is getting that list out of what do I want? Because as you are not as hungry anymore, one, you just said, I don't want people to push food at me. I don't want them to
Yeah.
love me with food.
I don't want
Maybe
food
I used to
tubes.
love people with food, but things change, right?
Yeah, I
So
don't
I
want a
want
feeding tube.
not to do that.
I don't
No.
want an IV, and a lot of people like me are like that. Does it make them
Yeah.
wrong? Does it make it so that they're not doing the right thing? And
No.
family loves are crying that they're feeling like nurses and whatnot are withholding that from them,
Keep you
and it's not.
alive. No.
It's not like that. It's about comfort care, and that does play a huge part in comfort care. And the other
Yeah.
part too is like medicines for comfort care. That it's
Yeah.
often talked about that these medicines are the things that kill the person who is near death. But the thing is when a person is as far along in death like I am, my body has already died and is dying in so many
Yeah.
areas that right
Yeah.
now we're taking the pain away from those
Yeah.
areas that I would have had to live with that excruciating pain day in, day out without any relief ever. Ever.
And how could you focus on what you want to focus on then?
I
You
couldn't
couldn't.
dare hold hugs and anything else because I can't move. I'm
No.
fragile. I
And you
will
are.
literally break. I literally broke my pelvis bone the other day because
Yeah.
I can no longer do Zometa, which is a bone strengthener, because my end of life excludes treatments from this thing. So the natural
Right.
progression of my cancer, and my cancer being everywhere like it is to just let it go because it would be doing this regardless. So I'm in need of holistic approaches to this too, outside of the Western medicine that typically
Yes.
will push the tube down your nose and say, here, eat, or, the
Here, have this.
hydration, or
Yeah.
have the, and
Mhm.
we're not
Yeah.
there. We're at comfort care, and that's something
Yeah.
completely different. What could
And
when a client is coming in and looking for so this is hospice. This is different from palliative care.
yes.
Palliative care is the comfort while we're living. Uh-oh, my kids
Yeah.
are coming in. Hello,
Yeah.
darlings. Welcome all. Welcome all. You
Hello.
totally. There's nowhere else for me to phone. Can you guys possibly give me another 10 minutes though? Yeah, we're just gonna drop them off. Okay. Okay, cool. Because then I can edit this stuff real quick after we're all done with that. Is that okay? Okay. Cool.
Which
We
is
can do
really
that.
perfect because this is life. And
It
life
really is.
happens how it happens. And yeah,
Yep, and I
it's
am now being cared at home with
yeah.
my oldest daughter and her friends. Very noisy friends that I
Yeah.
adore.
I
I
love it.
do.
They're
Yes.
doing things.
They're so
Well, and
sweet.
one of the things that the doulas do, I do, is before we get to the point where you may not be able to speak as you're speaking now, we talk about some of the things that are critical to you. Like, it could be something down to, I don't like mint mouthwash. I hate it.
Right. Okay.
Or I don't like the taste of cinnamon, or I don't like this kind of music, or I don't like this thing touching my skin.
Right.
I like this kind of soap. I like this type of scent.
Texture.
I like to be touched like this, not like this. These things I log into my little notebook. I know it's there. We talk about who you want to be surrounded with. Some people don't have family, so I will sit with them.
Yeah, you'll be family.
Or, that's it. Sometimes I sit with the families. Sometimes the families do it. Everybody is in agreement because it's your list. We go off of your list, and I am your voice. So we have to trust each other. We have to have a
Right.
symbiotic relationship to where I know what you want, what you need, and I'm there to speak for you. And I also know how to find tools for you.
Yes.
So, she needs an iPad. She needs one of those things that she can talk, because she's not gone yet. She wants to talk.
Yes, the mind is working. The body's not working anymore.
Yeah, could happen.
Yeah.
It happens for lots of people. And so there are tools. So I am here to go out there into the world and talk and ask about that. There are places where you can get beds that hold 5 people if you want everyone to crawl into bed with you. Because I do. I want, the dog, the cat, the husband, every
Right.
friend. I want everybody to snuggle in together, and that's just what I want. And I'm going to have what I want. Yeah.
Would you work with hospice or Western medicine as well, or is it just how does that work for you?
It's both. So we work with hospice, we work with all the, the specialists, the doctors, all of that, but we also engage in things like acupressure, acupuncture,
Yes.
Reiki,
Yes.
touch therapy, scent therapy, massage, finding ways, like you said, you broke your pelvis. I would take that in immediately, and I would go researching to find out, what do we need to do for a patient like Carrie, who her bones are fragile right now in certain areas. What can I do for her bed? Or do you have some ideas for that? And all of a sudden somebody will be like, oh my gosh, you will love this thing that we can put in her bed that'll make her really comfortable. That gives you days without that specific discomfort. So you don't have the energy to go be doing all that all the time.
No.
But I can go out on your behalf.
And you just called something serious. At this point, I can't do the majority of the things that I used to be able to do.
Yeah.
Speaking for a certain amount of time, I am tired and I'm exhausted, and I need somebody on that part who knows me, that trusts me, and that I trust, who we go, pelvis, ouch, and you just go, I got you, boo, I'll be right
back. Got you. I got you.
And it's all provided through hospice care, that they're taking care of that. So it's not, I don't have to hunt down another resource or something.
You've got a great team.
And paying these endless bills that just aren't, because, people think, okay, well, I only make a certain amount of money. Can I qualify for this?
Can I have those? Yes, for hospice you can.
Yes.
And the minute that your specialist and oncologist team says that's that, then they are with you, and it's okay to ask. It's okay to ask.
Yeah. And they're there for the same reasons. They want you to feel provided for and in comfort during your last days, not stressed and all the yuckies. They want you to connect with your family and have the best of the best.
Make a music list, just things that you think of. And also, when you do pass, when you're gone and you're not in your body anymore,
Yeah.
what do you want?
To do with
So,
it.
what are we doing? So, as part of my diplomaship, I had to write something. I had to make an imaginary person. His name was Samir. He was Indian, and at the end of his life, what he wanted was for nobody to do anything except to put the tea kettle on and sit in his room with him for an hour with his favorite playlist and just
Yes.
not go calling the mortician and running in circles and screaming.
No.
Just bring it down, take it to
Yes.
the bridge, let
Yes.
it
Take it to the
be,
bridge.
take it to the bridge. And then it was time for me to leave the room, and his best friend, Michael, who had been his friend for over 50 years, and his carer, Sammy, who was like a son to him by then. They did a special ritual where they washed his body and they put
Oh.
lotions and things that he liked the scent of, and
Yeah.
they played special music and they burnt special incense. And
Oh.
when all of that was done, and then there were the people that were okay to come say goodbye, they did that. Then they can take the body. They can do what they want to do for cremation, or
Yeah.
and you can have your funeral at home. There's a lot of things as a doula I can tell people, like, did you know? Did you
Yeah.
know you can actually have your funeral at home? You
Yeah. You
don't
don't
have to
have to.
go anywhere.
No.
Did you know that you can be wrapped up in a sheath that's made of seeds that they actually bury you and you turn into a tree and flowers?
Ah,
You
I love
know,
that.
it's fabulous, and you just put a bench there and somebody comes and hangs out with Carrie,
I love that.
and your flowers and your tree,
Mine,
and
I'm actually going to. I want to be cremated, and everybody
yeah.
gets their own individual urn, and you will too. And
Oh,
that my closest of closest, you guys get to take me wherever you want to. Take me on
love
whatever
it.
adventure that you want to take me, which includes like the whole hot girl summer thing that I've been doing.
Yes.
That I've been getting all these adventures with other people and people
Yeah.
pretending like that I'm with them and they're showing me around just how you've shown me
You go
around,
on.
you
You go
know.
on.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
like how you've shown me, you take me on tours throughout your town or wherever you're living,
Oh
and
gosh, yes. I'm a
I
big
love that.
with me.
And I want people to do that with my ashes and spread me
Yeah.
around like that,
That's
and go on
beautiful. I
adventures to
love.
places where I've never been before.
And
And
in that case, I would just help do that
yes,
then, because I'm
yes,
also a funeral celebrant, which in America, I don't think they use that phraseology, but it means that when someone's having a memorial or a eulogy, I work with the family and the person who's passed to
hmm,
say what they want to say at their memorial. And then we do the cremation or we do the burial, and I speak, and I if the family wants to speak, they can speak. They pick their music. We do all of that, but I can make sure, where I'm at. I would make sure when I went to the crematorium, I'd be like, I need 10 boxes,
hmm, yeah,
10 small
yeah, and
boxes,
small box.
please. Yeah, because I have family and friends who need these, and I'm going to make sure to deliver them. So my job does not end, just like the job of the palliative team or the hospice team for counseling the family doesn't end. My job doesn't end when breath ends,
Ooh, that's
because there's so much
powerful.
more to go on.
That's so
There's so much
powerful.
more to happen. Yeah, you're not done yet. You're never
Terminal does
done.
not mean goodbye. It
It
just doesn't.
literally doesn't. It doesn't. And no matter what you believe in, I say this a lot, and it is scientific, and so I'm allowed to say it, but that which is created cannot be destroyed. And we know it. It's in our science books. So, some ashes,
Hmm.
whatever it is, we can find ways to bring comfort. At the last days, maybe you want your kitty cats on your bed or your dog,
Hmm.
you know, or maybe you want to FaceTime an old friend. Just
Yes.
for a little bit.
Oh,
And
yeah.
yeah,
That's
you'll
what I've
meet
been
some
going
folks
through on
around
all
you.
this stuff too. And I hope
Yeah,
that the examples and stuff that I've done and posted segments and on, I really hope that other people can take note and create their own questions and seek out those answers as well. So, you guys, if you all have any questions or anything like that, please feel free to. I'm going to leave a link under Therese, how to get a hold of her for Death Doula. And if you
yeah,
want to leave comments too on questions you'd like me to ask and do, we can certainly cover those segments for you. These topics can
too.
be very difficult on when you're first starting out, and it feels like a
Yeah,
cornucopia of options. You're not even sure where to start. But
yeah,
humanizing death is so important because we do live on, and those memories and everything that stays with everybody who's living, these things
yeah.
are important too. And just because you're dying, it doesn't mean that you're gone. You're still you.
We're
You're
all
not a
going
different.
there.
Yeah, you're
We're
not a
all
different
going.
person though, and you don't
Yeah,
need to be treated or you don't need to be treated like you're all these tread walking feet and
that's
careful
a
on
long
those.
time ago.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
that
hurtful
those
now.
days don't have to happen
Yeah,
anymore.
we're not choosing next of air for royalty and who looked the best.
Yeah, let's be
New.
trailblazers.
Yeah. Yeah,
Let's
let's
do it our
talk about
way.
it. Exactly.
Yeah,
And that's what
yeah.
we're doing.
Perfect.
I know that in the future I would like to do another segment with you,
I'd love
Therese,
to.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and one of the couple of things that I would like to talk to in another one is how you've helped people handle their own money stuff with their families, the way that still
Yes.
puts the control into the person who is passing, but details are done even when you can't speak, but you are
Yes.
not alone to choose these or make decisions by yourself,
That's really
or that
important.
one person outside of your own voice is the only voice that can handle your responsibilities, because that's not
Yes.
fair either. And so
Yeah.
let's talk about that too. Talk about bereavement
Yeah.
and maybe talk about like what it looks like, what can help for families as they move on as well. And
Yeah.
as they have their
Yeah.
years of bereavement
Yeah.
after one passes. And what does
Of
that look
course.
like, and different resources for that as well.
Of course.
I know that you're doing this with people every
Yeah.
day, and it takes the total personality like yours to have that heart and that love
I
and
love
that
to do.
union,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. I like to come together with people and do that. And we'll talk about, they're called models of grief. And there's 3 different ones. And we'll hit on those. And we'll talk about what the family does and how, which model they might go towards. And you
Right.
may know now, even now. But we'll go through those. I'd love to.
Okay. That's wonderful. Thank you so much for being a part of this. I
My
just
pleasure.
love you to death.
I love you too. You know I do. Mwah.
Mwah.
This much. This much. Yeah,
Mwah.
yeah, exactly. I love that
This
you do that
much,
because I did
this
too.
much, this
This much.
much,
And
and
then
then what's this?
Google amount all the way back.
Okay,
Got it?
got
Got
it.
it. All right.
We'll talk to each other later. I'm gonna
All
put you
right.
on standby for a second, though. Okay.
Okay. Yep.
Okay.
Put me on
We'll
standby.
talk to you later. Bye,
Okay.
guys.
Well, bye, everyone. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Where am I?
Recording stopped.
There we go.
There she goes. Recording
Yes.
stopped. This is very serious.
Even though the other one I still have filming too, so we can always, if we find some tidbits or whatever, we want to crunch it there. All right.
Yeah, you can snip out what you need and what you want. And
Yeah.
that was really comfortable, Carrie. Yeah, I think. Yeah. And let's see if what people come up with too. They may definitely have questions, and you're such a doula. I'm just listening to you going, "Oh my God. I
A
would
what?
so." You're such a doula. You're already a
Oh.
doula. You are. You're a doula. Yeah, certain people are just born doulas. They just are. There's something about them that you can give them a certificate, but they're born doulas. and they're not afraid of other people's death, and they walk with their arms open towards their own, even
Yeah.
if it hurts and it's scary and it's hard.
From the
Yeah.
time I was a teenager, I knew I was, because I used to work in assisted living, and I've seen 2 people die that I used to go in
Yeah.
and help, and I wasn't sad for their dying, other than gonna miss them because I'm human.
Yeah. That
I
personality.
Yeah, I miss your presence. I miss you're
Yeah.
right there. But I knew that I would be able to see them in other forms,
Yeah.
and
They
I
would be
knew,
released.
yes, that they're
Yeah.
released, and they will
Yeah.
feel better. And I was honored to be able to be chosen for those moments, for whatever it meant and for however long it.
Yes.
So
And you will always be chosen. You have that personality. That's kind of your own flame that's inside. It's always been there, and it always will be. In whatever form you take, people will call on you. They will. Yeah. It's a
maybe in my
gift.
next life I'll actually do it. So
Yeah, you probably will.
I have a feeling I'm going to actually be instructing a lot on the other side too,
Yeah,
and helping
I
new
think
people who
so.
are deciding to go into this, and giving
Remember
them.
the hermit card?
Yeah,
Lighting the
exactly.
way?
Yep.
That's so you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. You know what? You're right. Right.
Yeah.
There's a teacher there, and be like, that's the
Yeah.
Yoda of the
Yeah,
of
that's
the
the
bunch.
Yoda. That's you.
So
That's
good.
you all
So good.
over.
And the Empress card, that one too.
Oh, and the Empress. Oh my God. She is so fertility and all the beauty. Yeah. Love
Yeah.
her.
I am
It
so
is
tired, my
hard.
love. I gotta get
Oh,
going.
you've done a brilliant job. You go now,
You are.
and those kids are just chomping at the bit to get to you anyway. So you better just
I better get out
wrap this
there.
up and
Yeah.
go see what they're doing.
I will have this done in the next day or two, and because I just
Perfect.
have to, and it's fun, and I love editing. So
Take your time. I love
work on
you,
the
and
side even.
mwah,
Love you.
just
Mwah.
diffuse now. All right, I'll talk to you soon.
I love you so much.
Mwah, I
Mwah.
love you too.
Okay, I'll
Bye.
talk to you
Thank
later.
you.
Bye.
Okay. Bye.
Stop, kids.